Okay, thank you everybody. I want to start by taking a look around the room if I can. Where is Origin Fitness? Okay, I was speaking to these guys earlier. Phenomenal journey over the pandemic with what these guys faced and where they are now. Where is Doug Miller? Where's Doug? Oh, there he is at the back. Doug Miller taught me everything I knew 25 years ago in this industry, and he's still here today, doing his thing. Give him a clap. Where are the guys from New Revolution Fitness? Well done, guys. These are guys that, despite the pandemic, have already started the wellbeing journey with their clients. Give them a clap. Guys, I just want you to take a minute. Put your hand up if you felt that the last 2 years was a total shitstorm. Put your hands up if you thought it was really tough. Put your hands up if you're still here. Guys, stand up for a minute, will you? And give every single person in the room a huge clap. Well done, guys. Well done. Because, guys, I want to start by saying to you a huge well done. We have faced something that I hope we will never face again. Or if we do, we absolutely are better prepared for it. Because I want to put to you today that you can have the perfect gym, like Ewan said earlier. You can have the perfect processes. But I want to put to you that if your people are showing up, but the lights are on and no one is home, we have a problem. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a bit loud, aren't I? So guys, I want to put to you that it's only through working on yourselves that we can best support others and develop a team that are going to deliver on your vision. So I want to put this to you a minute. Do you see the little boiling frog? A frog will sit in tepid water, and they will allow the water to keep getting hotter to the point where it gets to boiling pot, boiling over, and they won't jump out. So I'm just going to ask you today, are some of you guys in the room right now suffering from boiling frog syndrome, where you're ignoring serious warning signs in your business that means that the water is getting too hot and it's about to boil over? The thing is, we have faced a serious amount over the last 2 years, but here are our current challenges. Who would agree that the market environment and rising costs is a concern? Put your hand up. Yeah? Cool. Who would agree that the increase in uncertainty is a challenge for us right now? Who would also agree that you've had to wear different hats, working operationally rather than strategically? Who would say that's fair? Yeah? Who would say that we're struggling or worrying with member attrition right now? Losing members, and the challenge with membership sales. Who would say these are all challenges that we face right now? Yeah? All on the same page. We also have the challenge of staff recruitment, staff well-being, and staff retention. And I want to say to all the founders out there, you are one person. You have a team that deliver on your vision every hour of the day. And the thing is, we have paid a price for the world that we're now living in. The fast-paced environment that we have been working in, add that with the pandemic, there is a price to pay for that. So I just want to share with you something that I think that we all need to think about. The little guy here in the picture, we have 1 in 4 people at any one time with a mental health issue in our business right now. That means, and I want you to reflect on this for a minute, but people sitting at your table right now might be struggling. We have a slight issue with disengaged staff, and also some people would argue disengaged members. We are focused on a culture of stress over a culture of self-care. We are running on automatic pilot and losing out on the experience. And the big problem, your brains are pre-wired for negativity. So we are scanning for danger all day long, and we're missing out on the positive. Does it resonate with you that you will come in to the work, to your business, and you will dwell on the thing that didn't go well? And that's the thing, the very thing that you pick up on. So all of these prices that we are paying is putting your business at risk. So I want to ask you guys, who thinks it might be time to jump out of the boiling pot? Who thinks it's time to develop our people and their resilience skills over the more traditional technical skills? I have got to say to you, I love all these equipment suppliers, but you can have the best equipment in the world. But if you have got disengaged staff, you have a problem. We need to leverage what we've learnt, guys, over the last 24 months. Because I want to put to you, I think we're so much more resilient as a result of what we've experienced. Who thinks that's fair? Yeah? Who's taken time out to chat to their staff, chat to their team, and actually find out what they feel they've learned? Because we've learned so much as a result of the experience that we've went through. Who thinks we're more resilient as a result of what we went through? Yeah? Who thinks that they're more resilient to take on the next challenge? Or who here feels a little bit burnt out? So, I just want to play a little safety announcement. And I just want you to think about how this could be related to the topic of resilience and how you think it might help you as the founder, you and your team, and you and your organisation.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the crew, I ask that you please direct your attention to the monitors above as we review the emergency procedures. There are 6 emergency exits on this aircraft. Take a minute to locate the exit closest to you. Note that the nearest exit may be behind you. Count the number of rows to this exit. Should the cabin experience sudden pressure loss, stay calm and listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose like this. Pull the strap to tighten it. If you are traveling with children, make sure that your own mask is on first before helping your children. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-on items behind. Life rafts are located below your seats, and emergency lighting will lead you to your closest exit and slide. We ask that you make sure that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during the flight. While we wait for takeoff, please take a moment to review the safety data card in the seat pocket in front of you.
Thank you. Nice and quiet. So we're talking about the topic of resilience. Who could give me the first thing? And if someone gives me a great idea of what you picked up on that might be related to resilience in your business, you're going to get a free book. So who's going to go for it? Fiona? Thank you. Put your own oxygen mask on before you put anyone else's. As founders, we often look after ourselves last. Who thinks that's fair? That sometimes we're the person that's burnt out, but we've got to look after our teams. Yeah? Give me something else. Go for it. Oh, I love that. Count the rows to the exit. You actually want to know where you're headed if there's a problem. Contingency. Love it. Another one. Go for it, Ben. Who thinks that we need to leave our baggage behind to move on? So you know what, guys? Let's have a bit of an honest reality check. The last 2 years was crap, but it's in the past, and we're now moving towards the future, right? Anybody got anything else that they want to add? Okay, so I want to put to you, your journey, whether you're the founder, the manager, or the team player, is a bit like a plane journey. You need the right energy to last this journey. You need to know where you're going and what your future focus is. Where's the guys from the yard? Glenn, I can see you. Glenn, I can see you. We had the most unbelievable conversation this morning, and you know where you're going, yeah? Give Glenn a huge clap, because he knows where he's headed, right? And the team. We need to have engines that are going to get you on that journey, and that is your inner drive. What is your motivation and your self-belief like, not just in you, but your team and the organisation? We also need to know that when turbulence comes, because it does, that's just what we call life, that you are set up to course correct and come up with a plan. So you need to be flexible enough in your thinking. And the last thing I want to share with you about the plane journey is, who are you bringing on that journey as your passengers? Because if they're bitches, witches, and moaners, or they're mood hoovers, you know what you're going to get. So we need to think about how we bring resilience to our plane journey. Because the thing is, guys, resilience doesn't just help you to bounce back. It doesn't just help us to move on from what we faced over the last 2 years. It allows us to move forward with optimism, creativity, and positivity. And this is really important. And I'm sure you say, well, why does it really matter? Because the thing is, you can test me about every success measure that you could give me: profit, sales, retention, attrition, and every one of those needs you and your team to be resilient. The thing is, the 5 pillars of resilience can help you to tackle your challenges and limit their physical and psychological impact on you and your team's well-being. But this is about dual responsibility, guys. This is about your staff turning up and giving you their best version of themselves. But it's also about you having a reality check that you are responsible for creating an environment that's going to set your guys up for thriving. How well are you setting up your environment for thriving? Guys, can I just share a story with you? I never used to be resilient as fuck. I feel really naughty saying that word. But here's the thing. 8 years ago, guys, I was where you were. I was a founder. I had multiple businesses, and I basically drove off the cliff of healthiness. And I hit full, utter, all-encompassing burnout. Now, when you get burnout, it's a very dangerous place, and it takes a long time to come back. And I want to share with you something. 8 years ago, I went on a deep dive about myself. I became aware of my failings. I started to get bravely honest about what I wasn't good at doing. And I started to really consider this idea of being completely responsible. And you know what? The next thing I'm going to share with you, I'm really, really proud of, because I sold a business. I was suffering burnout. I went and done the really tough stuff. I worked on myself. I came back stronger with my resilience toolkit, And I built Soulgenic, the brand, off of one table in a little office to a 10,500 square foot club that I am very proud to tell you that despite being told that my club was closing with an hour's notice, and I took the club through the pandemic, knowing that I had an acquisition with the incredible brand Anytime Fitness, they put it on hold, and you can't blame them. And I had to take that club through the lockdown, through the pandemic, and then in August 2020, I had the day that I'm sure you guys might aspire to in your career, was when the club sold to Anytime Fitness, and I'm very proud to say that that club is now one of their highest yielding clubs in the whole of the UK out of 187 clubs. They are phenomenal operators and they are resilient. I got that sale over the line by using the 5 pillars that I'm going to talk about with you now. So I'm going to ask you, when was the last time that you did a resilient audit on you, your team, your organisation, and also your members? How resilient are they? So guys, I've put a sheet on your desk. We're going to get a little bit active. What I'd like you to do now is consider the stress in your business. How stressful is the environment that you've created in your business? I want to share with you something that's really important, guys. You all have a different size stress bucket. So look at the guys sitting next to you. Everybody's stress bucket is a different size. You might think that you can cope with a lot, but some of your team don't perceive that they do. And that's because they have got a smaller stress bucket. What is going in the stress bucket each and every day? Are you putting in there unnecessary and unhelpful processes that are adding stress to your business? And I want to ask you this. As the founder and your team, how are you releasing the tap of your stress bucket? When you know your head's about to explode or your team is just at that point, how are you helping them release the tap? Give yourself a score of 1 to 10 for the stress that's in your business right now. Guys, I want you to think of pressure for a minute. We aim to get people to perform and work in what we call the stretch zone. The problem is there's too many people out there in crisis, and there's too many people out there that are comfortable. But I want to give you some bad news. I talked about burnout, but bore-out is as dangerous to someone's well-being as burnout. So what are you doing to help your team members make sure that they stay in the stretch zone and they don't go into crisis, or they're actually at the very other end where they're completely bored? I have got to be quite controversial with this, but you only need to see the burnout amongst Group X instructors, and you need to see the bore-out amongst personal trainers to know that we do have an industry problem that we do need to solve. If you're doing 40 classes a week or 20 classes a week, it takes its toll. If you're doing personal training all day long, it takes its toll. And it does drain people of their resilience. Give yourself a score out of 10 of how you think the pressure that you're under is helping your performance right now. I want to ask you this. How resilient do you feel you are right now? I want you to think about your thinking. Is it healthy in the main? Or is it unhelpful? How are you feeling right now? Is it helpful or is it pretty unhelpful? And how is your behaviour right now? Is it helpful or is it unhelpful? Because we need to make sure that your people and yourself can keep these batteries without them getting depleted to ensure that they can turn up and deliver on your vision. Give yourself a score from 1 to 10. 10 being the best. So guys, the reason it's so critically important is because the more resilient you become, we get our guys over to the thriving area of the well-being continuum rather than just the struggling. So I want you to be brutally honest. Would you say that your staff and you are well right now? Give yourself a score from 1 to 10. Because when we're well, we perform. It's that simple. When we're well, we are energized, we're creative, we're collaborative, we're bold, and we will take more risks. I want you to think about that. Because here's the thing, guys. I mentioned about becoming aware. It's a very powerless place to be if you're blissfully unaware. It's also quite powerless if you blame everybody but you. I'm going to be brutal. You're the founder, you're the owner, the buck stops with you. Who thinks that's fair? Sad, but fair. So don't keep going back to your clubs and say, oh, well, they're Gen Zs, they're little snowflakes. Because that's the staff that you're going to have to get delivering on your vision. That's what we've got. They're younger. They live in a different world. You might have older people that work differently as well. We have to get the best out of our staff, and we have to become accountable. When you start finding solutions and you make it happen, it's a much more powerful place to be, right? So how accountable are you? Are you blaming everything out of yourself, or are you taking responsibility? Give yourself a score out of 10. I just want to share with you my 5 little tips to help you smash this out of the park with your resilience toolkit. So guys, have a look at this picture for me a minute. Who friggin' hates that when your phone has no charge left and you forgot to charge it? Who goes mad? We don't like it, do we? We hate it. So I'm going to ask you, why do you let the battery of you get to that? Why do you let your staff's battery get to the point where there's nothing left? Energy is the foundation of resilience. So don't laugh. Get up a minute, guys. All of us. Come on. Let's do it. Guys, you've got a choice. 5-star jumps, 100 or 5 squats. You know what a squat is. Let's do it. Go. 5 squats, 5-star jumps. Yeah, love it. Woo! Great. Well done. Well done. Guys, who agrees when you change your state rather than keep thinking about thinking, you automatically get into a different mindset? There's a little tip. When you're all getting very het up at the desk, everything's starting to just feel a bit negative, we try and do more thinking and talk ourselves out of it with more thinking. Let's just change the state. But I want to ask you, you're missing a trick. Because we are so focused in this industry thinking that energy is just physical activity and a little bit of nutrition. And I'm going to blow that out the water, because the foundation pillar of resilience with energy is much more than just your fitness. If you don't sleep well and you have really bad boundaries, and you let people email you at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you're replying and sending emails to your staff, and then you're letting people abuse your diary, and your boundaries are all over, it's going to really impact your energy. And I want to say, this is a massive opportunity for the fitness industry, because I really think that we need to reframe fitness to wellness. Because you're working really hard to get people fitter, but if they're not psychologically there, because their sleep is poor, they don't eat right, and they've got very, very poor boundaries, whatever you do is not going to work, and your retention is going south or north. Yeah? So think about your energy management. Give yourself a score out of 10. Are you actually practicing what you preach right now? Do you get good sleep? Are you in the gym keeping healthy? Are you keeping boundaries with your staff? And are you eating well? Again, brutal honesty, you are a role model in this industry. So if you are fueling yourself with coffee and sugar, your energy is going to be all over the place. Who resonates with that? Yeah? So guys, there's pillar one. The quickest win for you and your members is to stop thinking about this industry as fitness and start thinking about it much bigger, because we have a huge opportunity to make a difference in this way. We can actually improve our income lines. We can get better retention and lower attrition by working on this with not just yourself, but also your members. So I want to ask you now, guys, think about you now for a minute. Have you shared with your guys where you're going? Do your guys know what your future focus is? Because without purpose and direction, they are going to feel really stuck. And this is critical to resilience. So I want you to think about this for a minute. Do you give imaginary hindsight to your guys and say, guys, this is where we're going, and it's going to be really good, and this is what it looks like, and here's why we're going there? Because as Simon Sinek would say, everything that we do in our life that is powerful starts with why. When you find your purpose, everything lights up. Do you actually know what the purpose is of the guys that you look after? Because if they have a purpose and they have a why that's not aligned with your why, you're going to get them leaving. We need to get better at allowing our guys to live their purpose through our businesses. Can they not get a little pet project that allows them to tap into their why, their purpose, and why they feel that they want to come to work in the morning? And guys, do you get out of the way to allow them to take control and help you get to where you want to go? Because when we know that people are in control and they feel they can make a difference and they can influence, they are absolutely going to show up as a different person. So grade yourself now out of 10 for your current future focus in your business. Do your guys know where you're going? The next one, guys, inner drive, motivation, and self-belief. It's so critically important. Are you setting up your guys for the growth mindset, where you actually allow these guys to fail? That dreaded word. I learned more in my life from everything I screwed up than anything that I ever did that was a major success, and that is from the heart. We need to let these guys be happy to take on a challenge, to not be scared to screw it up, and feel that they can build their own intelligence and their own autonomy in their work? Or are you very controlling and not building them for growth? With the growth mindset, your guys will be motivated, allowing them to bring a piece of them to your business each and every day. So guys, I want to do this for a minute, because if you want to build self-belief in your team, there's a really quick little way of doing that, and we don't do it enough. And I did it at the beginning today with you guys. We need to take in the good. A piece of research by Seligman in 30 days looked at the 50 most depressed people, and 47 out of 50 people were less depressed, more happy, and more positive by doing one small thing every day for 30 days. So you need to do this when you leave today. Stop whinging. Let's talk about what's went really well. So on the table now, with the person next to you, I want you to tell each person one thing that you're glad about from being here today. Do it now. One thing. Guys, can I stop you? Because I am going to run out of time quite soon, but I will get to the end. So many good things coming out. Meeting people, networking, learning something new. Because, do you know, Suzuki says that when we come at things as the expert, we lose out on so many opportunities. When you get back to beginner's mind, it is unbelievable what opens up for you as people and as owners of your business. The thing that steps into your path that is your biggest hurdle is yourself. You are the biggest problem in your business. You've got to get out the way and let people fly. Let people feel that they've got control. Let people feel that they can make a difference. The challenge here is when you start thinking negatively, which we're pre-wired to do, it makes us feel more negative. So I've got two things left to do. I want you to look at this for a minute, the mood map, and I want you to think about, where are you spending most of your time right now? Are you in high stress? That's the red zone. Are you in exhaustion? The grey zone? Are you in the high performance zone, the green zone? Or are you in the yellow zone, the calm zone? Because we need to spend as much time as we can in the right-hand side of the mood map. The more negative you think, the more you move into the left-hand side of the mood map. And this is a problem, because we bring with our mood unhelpful behaviours that are standing in your way. So I want you to grade yourself. Where are you right now from a 1 to 10 in your mood right now over the last few weeks? Because the more positive that we can be, and the more we can do that for our people, the bigger their self-belief. And that is critical to resilience. I'm nearly there, guys. Last one. I talked about the passengers on your journey. This was life-changing for me. I'm going to be controversial again, sorry. If you haven't lost a friend or someone along the way, and you're now like me, 50 next year, you have to ask yourself why. Because despite how much it sounds lovely to think that you will always have the same people in your life, you're all going to grow and need different things at different times. Relationships are absolutely critical to you smashing it out the park as a founder. You cannot do this as a lone ranger. You just physically cannot do it. So I want to ask you, who's in your thriving group? Who's your challenger? Your lover? We all need that. Your mentor? Your coach? Your soother when it all goes wrong? You don't need one person, guys. You need a group of people around you. You need a group that are going to build you up, not bring you down. And it has to be two-way. If you feel right now that you are doing all of the heavy lifting and nothing ever comes back, you're going to have to reassess your relationships for success. So I'm going to finish and ask you this. How much are you making deposits into that emotional bank account with your relationships? Are you aiming to understand the guys in your care? Are you keeping your commitments or always cancelling on them? That is my absolute pet hate. Founders who don't think it's necessary to turn up for a meeting because they were late. That's not good. Do you clarify expectations and show integrity? Or are you taking withdrawals a lot, criticising people, showing contempt, stonewalling them, or being defensive? Because this is as simple as it gets. The more you put pennies into that piggy bank, the more successful that you're going to become and the more resilient that you're going to be. So I'm about to finish. I'm going to summarise. I think this sector will up that penetration figure from the 15-16% to somewhere nearer the 20 if we start focusing on people more than just fancy kit, processes and practices. Remember what I said. If the lights are on but nobody is home, your processes are just not going to get followed. Resilience can help you to buffer the impact, guys, of these challenges that you're facing. And I think the 5 pillars can support, here's the interesting one, they don't just support you, they don't just support your staff, they'll actually support your members, and that will improve your retention. Because we need more resilient members too. And the thing is, you get them on a program and talk about their fitness, but not realizing that the reason that they can't perform in their fitness is because psychologically they're burnt out or they're getting no sleep. I'm finishing on this. The more that you invest in your people, the more that's going to impact every single KPI that is on your balance sheet. Resilience is critical to your future success. So guys, take targeted action. Build your own resilience action plan. Commit to being an authentic leader. Let's become extremely aware of what's going on. Be bravely honest. And guys, take full responsibility. We are very lucky to have these people go on the journey with us as founders. Be reflective, guys. Reflection is one of the biggest gifts that's going to help you build your business. It's time to get off the dance floor and onto the balcony. Involve the team, guys. They're part of your journey. And I want to finish by congratulating you all for the amazing work that you've done over the last 24 months. And I wish you all the best. And I'd like you to just consider for 1 minute now a big takeaway, just one that you might think about when you go back to your teams. And you can report back to me during the day. Thank you, guys.